want to. Here we go, Brooke.
And then I would try just Danvers Intersport.
Thank you. Good evening. I call to order the meeting of the Hamilton-Wenham Regional School Committee on Thursday, May 7th, 2026, at 7:03 p.m. Before we get started, we're having a little bit of an internet connectivity issue, but I think everyone's, so let me know if you need to stop if you're not able to. So you do have everything. We do have one copy of everything printed out, but you can fight a little bit with that. Okay. So first order of business, our regional agreement states that we, the school committee, will tabulate the election results in a meeting. So I will turn that over to Amy to read the tabulating of the results.
So the tabulated results of the.
Is your mic on?
No. I'll use this one. Okay, so for the 3-year seats, the following are the results. Dana Alara, 1,157 votes. Jeffrey Austin, 588 votes. Kristen Noon, 1,188 votes. 11 write-ins, 674 blanks, for a total of 3,618 votes. For the 2-year seats, which we had 2 of, Janet Burt, 738, Carl Iberger, 458, David Polito, 915, Thomas Reed, 777, 13 write-ins, and 717 blanks, for a total of 3,618 votes. For the 2 questions, question 1 regarding the override, there were 1,247 yes votes, 511 no votes, 51 blanks, for a total of 1,809 votes. For question 2, the debt exclusion, there were 1,374 yes votes, 374 no votes, 61 blank votes, for a total of 1,809 votes. This back? No. Oh, the mic, yes, sorry.
All right, thank you. And so, that being said, the new committee is here. Really excited to have a full 7-member committee. Welcome to Tom. Welcome back to David, and congratulations to Kristen joining us.
And to you.
And to you, Dana.
Thank you, Dana.
And I'm happy to be back. Next up is an opportunity for citizens' comments. Before I give my spiel, just see, is there anybody on the Zoom link that looks like they're interested in offering a citizen's comment?
Can we get on?
Like I said, we're having a little bit of an internet problem.
Nobody.
Nobody? Okay. Is there anyone in the room that's going to offer a citizen's comment? Okay. Seeing none, I will spare you all my spiel about citizens' comments, and we will go ahead and close the Zoom. All right. And citizens' comments are closed. Next up, we have a portion of the school committee protocols. Is that you, Kristen?
Yep. As elected members of the Hamilton-Wenham Regional School Committee, we, including the superintendent, accept the high honor and trust that has been placed in us to ensure that the students of the district receive the best education possible. To that end, we hereby commit to the following in the conduct of our business. Members will refer constituent concerns and complaints including issues relating to district personnel, to the appropriate person within the district chain of communication.
Thank you. Next up is a portion of our school.
Aspects of district operations.
Thank you. Next up is Mr. Tracy with the superintendent report.
Great, thank you. Very straightforward report tonight. Been really try to keep an eye wide open on the FY27 state budget and the shifts that are being made. People may know, last time I reported out, we reported out on the House results, and that the House had improved many of the areas that we were looking for improvements. Senate Ways and Means just finished their view of the FY27 budget, and just looking at Chapter 70 alone, it's up, the difference from the House to the Senate is $602 million. They generally don't give us all of it, so I'm assuming we'll come somewhere in the $200 to $300 million increase overall. It's a $7 billion pot of money, so, and as we all know, every district is trying to get more state aid. Same thing with circuit breaker. The circuit breaker is something that almost every group, the governor, the House, and the Senate Ways and Means came to a similar number, which is about 653 million. It looks like they're planning to backfill it with supplemental funds from the millionaire's tax. So that's what they did last year, and it's good if they do it with circuit breaker, because then we have the money that doesn't automatically drop to E&D. If they do it with Chapter 70, we don't touch the money. They give it to us at the end of June, and it goes right into excess and deficiency. And then regional transportation is also showing an increase of about $50 million comparatively. So some good numbers coming up through the House right now, through the legislative right now, and we'll continue to watch it and figure out what the final numbers are. I just always want to caution people, you never know till the end, because the supplemental funds are one piece of the puzzle, and there's quite a bit of money in there from what I understand. The secondary piece of the puzzle is that we are currently tracking in April $1.5 billion, which is about 4% higher than the target for revenues for the state of Massachusetts. So that speaks well as for opportunities too, they'll fund earmarks with some of that, and they'll also use it for some of the supplemental side. So we'll keep tracking that. Again, $1.5 billion is a healthy place to be, above the same period of last year, and it's 4% above what they had targeted for this period this year. So we're looking good on state revenues. Right around now is a nice time to be able to see where the money's starting to fall. So I'll keep you in the loop on that. There are several more stages. We won't really have any final numbers till probably the second week in June. But I'll bring them forward as soon as I can get them.
Does anybody have any questions? Because I have one.
Go ahead.
Does anybody else have questions for?
I had one, but go first.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
I think I also saw, maybe it was in Senator Tarr's Facebook page, that there was some motion about some activity around creating a commission to study Chapter 70.
Correct.
But that does not impact whatever the award will be for next year's budget. They're still trying to increase Chapter 70 funding, even if they're also studying it, basically.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
I think one of the things the state legislators heard from all the superintendents, city councilors, select board, everybody, was that we were all in trouble. Everybody is teetering. So that, I think they're doing the work. They've heard it, they understand it. Where the money comes from is really, I think, the conversation. There is language on a commission that has been agreed upon in both the House and the Senate. That would still have to go forward and be approved, if not vetoed by the governor, but I don't think that would happen, given that DESI's working on, has been working on that for a year now. And they're supposed to come out with their final report in the next couple of weeks, so that should coincide with language that establishes that committee. So
Okay.
yes, that is true.
Okay.
Yep.
So my question was, I just want to make sure I understand about, because I did understand previously about the supplemental funds. If we get supplemental funding in June, say that it's we would need to spend that supplemental funds in our FY '26 year, and that's almost impossible because.
If it was Chapter 70
Well,
funding.
that was my question. So explain to me, because that was my understanding entirely, but it sounds like you're saying that circuit breaker is different, that if we get circuit breaker supplemental or funds, is that because we normally get the circuit breaker is like retroactively?
It's also a different account setup
Okay, so what happens if we get funding in June?
for circuit breaker.
Yeah.
So both circuit breaker and transportation are revolving accounts, so money can go in there directly and be used into the next school year.
So we could use it in FY
Unlike Chapter
'27.
70, Chapter 70 automatically, there's no revolving account for it. It comes in and drops into E&D almost automatically. So that, last year, if you remember, they did that. They doubled due to the SOA, they doubled from $75 per student to $150 per student. That money basically just dropped to E&D for us.
We technically
Right.
can't spend it because it would be an amendment to our
Above the budget.
And we would have to increase the budget.
Right.
Yeah.
Technically, you
Right.
can't.
But circuit,
spend-
I guess I just didn't understand that circuit breaker is different, so,
Yeah, the revolving accounts design that's allowed in circuit breaker and transportation allows you to put money in there and leave it in there and use it, which helps us to offset. Like, so for next year, it will be helpful to have some extra monies in those accounts to offset some of we're seeing some pretty dramatic increases over the last month and a half of special ed costs, so we'll probably need it.
all right, thank you. Do you have more?
Just one quick one, just want to say congratulations and thank you to, last night they had the concert and the senior art show at the high school. If you have not been through the art exhibit, I've been here now 13 years, it was unbelievable. The work that the kids did is amazing. It's still up, it'll be up all week. It just blew me away this year, a little more than usual. It's always great work, but there are some really, really strongly skilled artists that we have in this group, and so I know several of them are going to off to school, so that's exciting too. And a great concert, so just, and then when you have, next week we'll have the middle school concert. We have AP exams going on, we have MCAS exams going on, so this is, as I've said in previous meetings, this is a messy time of the year where there's all kinds of stuff happening. This is also Teacher Appreciation Week, so thank you to all of our teachers and our teaching staff. It was Nurses Day, School Nurses Day on Wednesday.
Bike to school day tomorrow.
What's that?
Bike to school.
Bike to school day tomorrow.
Every day
yeah.
is something.
There's something, that's what I mean, like May, all of a sudden there is something happening every single day, so, just some notes and really appreciate the work everybody's done, because in the past week, it's been kind of everybody's day. It was Principal's Days last Friday, and I just, just make sure that people understand that this is a time of year when it's fun to celebrate these things with the kids and all the work that everybody's put in. You can start to see the culmination of all of the work at every single level. So, thank you to everybody.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions for Eric? All right, next up is the consent agenda. Typically, items on the consent agenda are those things we don't anticipate that there will be any discuss, or they're non-controversial. Does anyone have anything they'd like to hold from the consent agenda? No. Julia?
I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented in the exhibits.
Second.
Second by Jen Carr. All those in favor? That is unanimous, and the motion passes. Okay. All right. Next up is a potential discussion of a potential new field trip to Ecuador and the Galapagos Islands. I understand we have a presentation?
Sure. We have Stacy Pawson, who's a science teacher at the high school. With her is also the curriculum leader for Science Department, Regina O'Neill. I think Stacy's going to present. Gina's cheering. She's the cheering section. Okay. Okay.
I'm going to pass out a copy of the itinerary. There was a slight change to the price, and then I added a QR code. There is a short promotional video at the start of this that is not necessary for you to watch, but that is on the next slide. So I don't know, yeah, this.
You want to skip it?
I mean, it's cute. It's cute, just-
All right,
but
cute
it's
is good.
not.
I recommend this trip to other students because it's a really great experience. You get to have a good time with your friends and you learn a lot.
You get to be hands-on with things, you get to learn things with your friends, and you get to actually see what you're learning in class in real life.
Okay, so this is the why of why we want to do this. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many students to go somewhere that they've heard since, middle school, probably elementary school. We've talked about Darwin and evolution, and now they get to go to this very special place and see these organisms in their natural habitat. So it's an amazing opportunity for them. I'm just going to take you through the itinerary really, really quick. We would depart on the Friday before spring break. We would need that day for travel because it is a long travel day. It's a very long travel day. The next day we have here, this is the itinerary that you're looking at in front of you. We are hoping that when we meet with our rep next week, provided that this is a go, to swap out some of those activities for something a little bit more STEM. So that museum there would take the place of these two activities here. That is the museum at the equator. It talks about how the Incas determined the middle of the earth and has a lot of really cool science experiments that you would only be able to do at the equator. This is the first day that we would fly over to the Galapagos. So we start off on Santa Cruz, and we would be going to the Scalicia Forest, which is a really important habitat in that area and features all kinds of different organisms, but most notably to the students that would be of interest are the number of the Darwin finches. We would be able to view these lava tunnels that are going to be able to kind of showcase the volcanic nature of the island, and there are also very special habitats in these tunnels that you wouldn't be able to find other places for cave-dwelling organisms and very unique species. From there, we would go to the Turtle Ranch, and that is a tortoise refuge. So that's all in that one day. The next day, we would be headed over to the Darwin, go back. Want to go back one? This is the Darwin Research Station, and here we would be able to, look at some of these incredible specimens that they have on display there, and really kind of learn deeply explore the research that we have there. And then we would be headed over to Tortuga Bay, and Tortuga Bay is a breeding site for the This is the breeding site for the black sea turtle, which is an endangered species. So it's a very unique experience for the kids to have there. This is day 5. We would transfer to San Cristobal Island. Again, keep in mind that these islands have very unique, distinct tortoises on each of the islands, right? So that's something they've read about in textbooks, and now they get to see firsthand. So we would be visiting this turtle breeding facility, which would be really, really exciting for them, because this would be a time when all of the turtles are hatching, and they would get to see all the little babies. We would be taking a hike to El Junco Lake, which is a volcanic crater lake. And we would be able to snorkel. This is the beach where we have the Galapagos sea lions. They have breeding area there. We would also have another full snorkel day at Kicker Rock. Kicker Rock is a very unique, it is a 500-foot volcanic cone. And in the center of that, there is a very deep region where you have nutrient upwelling. So you get to see a number of really interesting, unique species. And in addition, you have nesting colonies for the blue-footed boobies there. Then it's back to Quito, where, again, this is a travel day, so they have a little bit of downtime. And then we get to go to another ecological reserve just outside of Quito. This is a 1.8 million acre reserve, and it is a very important spot for the endangered Andean condor. Then we are headed home. So this is what we would be showing the parents, so that the students know what to expect. And here is our price. So this is a little bit different than what we have in the original doc, because we asked if we had more students, could we increase it, and that would decrease the actual private fee that they had us down for before. So this is our cost based on 36 participants. This is your payment plan that we would be presenting to them. So it would be enrollment $99, monthly fee of $538. And this is our eligibility. So we would be offering this to our AP Science students, to our dual enrollment students, so that's environmental science, and we have now a dual enrollment anatomy, and to our Fab Tech students. This is a slide talking about the safety aspect of this, which leads us to our protection plan. Again, this would be recommended for all students. And then this is just a slide about fundraising. This last slide, this is the QR code that you have on that itinerary that I gave you. This is just a Google form that the kids can go to and fill out for interest. And thank you so much for having me here and
Thank
taking
you.
up your time with this. Thank you.
All right. Do people have questions?
Is there any way to have some scholarship funds for students who can't afford that price tag? Because that's a lot.
It is a lot of
do.
money, and we have talked even about potentially fundraising as a science department to help cover some of those costs.
I mean, I agree, it's a once-in-a-lifetime trip, but I would hate to have a student who qualifies on all other accounts miss
They
it because they
can't,
can't
yeah.
afford it.
We generally make sure that happens. I mean, we work closely enough with kids, and the staff works with the kids to know where the need is, so we do set aside monies for things like that. We do it for every field trip that we offer with that has some cost to it.
And can it just, I know you mentioned the risk, the travel insurance. So that is something that's
That-
offered to families.
It's offered to
Through World
families.
Strides, correct?
Through World
So it's
Strides.
It's not, the district is not,
Oh, no, this is through
just
something
making
that
sure. Yep.
they have to opt in on that. So that would be an extra fee for them, but guarantees that if anything were to happen in like last minute, the kid can't go for whatever reason, that they get fully refunded. That is through World Strides, yeah. They have very good, I mean, this is who the Spain trip used. And so this is a very respectable, reliable company. They take care of everything. They have their normal coverage of travel insurance. This would be on top of that.
Have you done Galapagos before?
We have not. So this would be brand new for Hamilton. Our students, they have such great experiences when they go with the language departments on these wonderful trips. And, I just had a brainstorm one day of why don't we do something for science? Like, this would be a great opportunity to get the kids out in the field and doing some real good hands-on science stuff.
Other people? Thank you.
Thank you.
Love that.
Okay. Julia, do you have a motion?
Oh, man.
Julia, do you have a motion?
I'm not sure what the motion would
It
be.
would be to approve the field.
Okay. I move that we approve the Ecuador field trip as presented.
Second.
Second by Jen Carr. Does anyone have any further discussion, questions? No. Okay, looks like we're ready to vote. Yep. All right, all those in favor? That is unanimous and the motion passes. Thank you very much, and thank you for your work, and thank you for your time to come.
Yeah, it's
And-
exciting.
You're welcome
do
to
this
stay
in
and
2
watch the
years.
rest of the
Yes,
meeting.
yeah,
Keep
you're
it
always
up till my son can be in high school.
Oh, isn't qualify for this yet.
My son's in 5th grade, so just kind of keep it going.
No, I'll just say it's a neat.
He would
it's a
love
neat
this.
thought, like, to think about that, like, it can be science-based rather than language-based, like, that's a
I love that.
innovative thought.
Maybe
and-
English could do,
Yeah, like-
the English department could
Right, it
do
could
a
be
field
any-
trip.
Yeah.
Rocco's the cooler of the two.
All right.
Thank you.
So next up, we reorganize the committee once a year. I'm going to turn the chair over to Eric.
Just had to do it once.
Have to do it. I love it.
Do it once a year. Thank you. We'll move into the next section of the meeting, which will be school committee reorganization. As we know, we have several duly elected members. This time of the year is when we reconstitute the positions. And in this portion right here, I will begin the process by taking nominations for the chair. And then once the chair is nominated and finalized, we'll hand the gavel back. So I am taking nominations for the chair of this current group of the school committee member for the rest of the 25-26 school year.
I nominate Dana Alara to be the chair for the rest of the school year.
Any others? Dana, do you accept the nomination?
But accept the nomination.
Okay.
We're lucky to have
We
you.
get for running again.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, do I, yep. All right, so do I have a motion?
I move that we appoint Dana Alara to the chair position on the school committee.
Thank you, Julia. Second by Amy. All in favor?
I'm in.
Okay, any opposed? Unanimous. And Dana is now the chair of the school committee. Welcome back.
Thank you. Happy to do it.
Big shoes to fill.
Next up, do we have nominations for vice chair?
I would like to nominate Kristen Noon as vice chair.
Is there a second to that nomination?
Second.
Okay,
Oh,
second
all
by
right.
Jen and Julia. We'll give it to Jen. Is that nomination something you would accept, Kristen?
Yes.
Are there other nominations for vice chair? Okay, seeing none, could we have a motion?
I move that we appoint Kristen Noon to the position of vice chair on the school committee.
Second.
Second by Jen Carr. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That's unanimous. Congratulations, Kristen.
Thank you.
Yay.
So next up is the secretary position. Does anyone have any nominations for secretary?
I nominate Tom Reed for secretary.
Oh.
Throw him under
Second.
the bus early.
Right into it.
Is there, do we have a second?
I did a second.
Okay, second by Julia. Is that, so I should just warn you that oftentimes new members are asked to be service secretary. It's a good learning experience. So is that something that you would, a nomination that you would accept?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have any other nominations for secretary? All right.
I move that we appoint Tom Reed to the secretary position on the school committee.
Second.
That is seconded by Jen Carr. All those in favor? And that is unanimous. Congratulations, Tom. It's a good opportunity to.
Welcome to the fire.
Exactly. It's a good opportunity to learn, the Robert's rules and that kind of thing.
I
The
was
committee
a
will-
former secretary. I can
Yes.
bring you up to speed.
Thank you.
Yes, exactly. Which brings us to we call it's, vice secretary is listed here. I think it's technically assistant secretary, but it's always good for us to.
Secretary.
For the secretary of the secretary, exactly. It's always good to have two, because in case someone's not here, and also, as Julia just said, to help. So, do we have nominations for the vice secretary?
I love to be the warrant signer. Can I nominate myself?
We're not there yet.
Oh, I thought that was the same person, vice secretary and warrant signer.
Falling apart over
Damn,
here.
I want to be the warrant signer.
Do we have a nomination for vice secretary? Anyone?
I nominate Amy Kuhnberger as vice secretary.
Second.
Second by Julia. Okay, can we have a motion?
I move that we appoint Amy Kuhnberger as vice secretary.
Second.
Second by Jen. All right, all those in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you, Amy.
Gio the second.
All right, does anyone have a nomination for warrant signer? If anyone has any
I
idea of someone
nominate
that might want to do it?
Self. Do it.
Is there a nomination?
I nominate Julia as warrant signer.
Second.
Second.
Julia, are you interested in that position?
Yes. I just like hanging out with Vinny.
There you go.
Okay.
You brought some.
Motion.
Motion. I move that we appoint Julia Campbell as warrant signer.
Second by Amy Kumberger. All those in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you, Julia. So, a couple things. So, for our new members, the warrant signer is a really important position in that each week, the warrant signer needs to come and sign all, to allow the district to pay all the bills, and so it's really important. We typically also need to, it's not listed on here, but we typically have authorized, and I'll leave it to the committee, but we have typically made a motion to authorize any member of the school committee to sign the warrants in the event that the warrant signer is unable to, because as I just mentioned, it's essential that the warrants get signed. So in an emergency, we've typically allowed that any member, so that Vinny could chase down any one of us.
Do I need to make a new, I need to make a new motion?
Well, I mean, that motion is valid, that you are the
Okay.
warrant signer, but separately, I think we should have a motion that,
Okay.
if needed.
I move that we appoint any available school committee member as designated warrant signer in the event that the warrant signer cannot
And the warrants.
sign.
Second.
Second by Amy Kumberger. Is there any discussion on that? All right, all those in favor? And that is unanimous. Excellent. Thank you all. Okay. All right, I was very focused on that and realized I didn't really take proper notes, but I got it. I got it. Okay. So, next up is our reconfiguration of our subcommittees. So, one thing I sort of thought about and conferred with Amy, our vice chair at the time, about, was, we have on here appointing school committees, school committee subcommittees, and we also have a separate, item E is discussing whether or not we want to have a communications point person. So I just want to look to the committee, because I think those are sort of linked in terms of determining who might want to serve on which committees. It might be important to know whether we're looking for a point person or a working group, or if we're creating another position, it might be helpful to discuss that first before we put people in positions. I don't know.
When
So I
you
guess
say-
I'm just looking to take it out of order.
When you say point person, what do you mean by that?
So, well, before we get to that, I guess
Oh.
I'm just asking whether everyone's comfortable sort of taking that out of order and talking about the subcommittee communications idea before we,
Yeah, sure.
It's just out of
I
order.
think that makes sense.
okay.
Can we even have a communications person based on the campaign finance law?
So,
Yeah.
yes,
We should have a whole communication subcommittee.
right. We could have a subcommittee, we could have a point person, we could have a working group with, which would be 2 people. I know I've done a little bit of research. I know that Amy's done a little bit of research, and I don't know, Kristen may have done some when the 2 of them were working on communications around, I'm not sure, I don't want to, but I'm just going to be, I'm the one that put this on here originally, and I'm just going to be out there and say, I've sort of noticed, I'm sure there are lots of examples out there in the world, but Melrose had just a horrific tragedy just recently. So it's awful that it's under that. However, one of the things is that I was really curious about, I noticed that many of their communications actually came from the school committee. And I felt like they were able to quickly provide accurate and appropriate information. And I did sort of a little bit of looking at their communications, and it made me sort of realize how challenging that would have been for us to produce, given that we haven't really authorized any one person or any 2 people or whatever to speak for us in the event. We always have to meet together. So anyway, that's just a part of why I felt like, well, that was really good information for me to sort of see a school committee that's doing it differently. So I'm going to leave it at that and see what people are thinking in terms of whether we need that, what it looks like, whether people are thinking it should be a subcommittee, a point person, 2 people, what are the people thinking?
I feel like, I don't think my mic is working the right way. I have to press
it is.
the
there you
button,
go.
but I have to keep my finger on it.
There you go.
It's
working. above it.
I just have to hover over it. I feel like it would be hard to have a subcommittee. It would
Sort of defeating the purpose.
be the same issue, right? Like, we would have to meet, and it wouldn't be as nimble as a working group or an individual person. An individual person I've had concerns with, because what if that person isn't available and something happens? So I would be a fan of a working group for a communications effort.
I feel like also, if I was asked a question, I would always defer it to Eric, right, or to you. So we do have that kind of chain of command when something happens, and I'm very comfortable with that. Like, if, not making a comment on my own until things simmer down, or making a comment just as a private citizen, but I don't know. Like, if there was something that happened and a reporter called me, I would say, no, I'll talk to Dana or
for
Eric
sure.
on my behalf.
Yeah, I think we, well, I don't know, other people have responses to that.
Can I throw something out there? I think Dana and I talked a lot about this, and I look at it from not just the tragedy perspective, but just general communication in the community. That's the one thing that came up over and over and over in the last 6 months about communication and transparency and all the different things that we should do. This is probably a good opportunity for the committee to have an individual who could work with an outside agent to craft weekly or monthly communications, like here's the school committee recap that could go out, and not have to bring it back to a meeting, wordsmith it, have it approved. It would just be this kind of constant flow of information that comes from the school committee, which we don't have at all now. It could even be, a column in the superintendent's weekly or something that goes out that people see. So I think, look at it from just an opportunity to be, to put more information out into the community.
Yeah, I mean, Eric and I have talked about this, and, right, I think I think Julia's point is really important, that very often, the message would be, particularly in the current working environment that we have right now, this school committee with this administration, I think that the messaging would oftentimes be very, very similar and coordinated. There might be times, however, that there might be a message that should come from the school committee. That could be something that's going on the school committee, that it should come from the school committee, or, an action that the school committee took, voted to do something, not to do something, that it's more appropriate that the school committee comments on it. Doesn't mean that it's not that we would be leaving Eric out of the loop, but there just might be times when the messaging could be important, that the messaging could come.
More outgoing information, not necessarily like fielding
Yes.
questions. Like, you're right in that if we receive a question and we would do it the same way, it would go to the rest of the committee and Eric, and then
Right.
go back.
Although, to be clear, you are all allowed to answer questions from
Oh,
the
yes.
press. I mean, that is totally, you're allowed to. But yes.
So Dana, just to follow up on that, just to make sure I understand that this either point person or working group would basically be authorized to speak on behalf of the body as a whole, like with these outgoing communications through whatever channel.
Yeah, and my vision is that it might be useful for us, and my vision is that it would be if we decided to either make, let's just say, a working group or a point person, that it might be on that person or those people to do a little research and come back to us and say, this is how some other places do this. Because, yeah, they would have to be authorized to speak on behalf of the committee. We all know, we've all sort of been trained in like the rules that you really can't speak on behalf of the committee unless the committee has spoken. So, it does, but those are things that we're going to vote on. So, if it's just informational, these are the things that occurred, this is what, this is what's upcoming, like this is what's going to be on the agenda, these are the dates, those kinds of things. I don't know.
I think it's worth trying, because I agree with Eric. I think we heard from a lot of people that they didn't feel that they had the information that they needed to make decisions. So I think this is worth trying, which I think ties into my second question, that if, say we try the working group thing, and I know we have other things on the agenda to talk about, like retreats and different things like that, and like, say we get to October and like it's not working, can we make a change, or are we sort of locked in for, okay?
Yep. I mean, it's always, in other words, and it's a great question. In other words, if even one person on the committee felt like they wanted to revisit it, they would just request that as a topic for a future meeting. It would be on an agenda and we would discuss it. And we could certainly revote or, and, yeah.
If we're going to do it as a working group, would it be worthwhile to just make it the chairs, a group made up of the chairs of each committee? Because that way, all the information from all the committees is coming into the same working group.
Yes,
Or at
except
least have a
that would be
member from
3
each
people.
committee.
But that, we all,
would be 2, right.
but that would be 3 people.
Which we don't want.
So then it would be a
We want 2
subcommittee.
people.
Right. So 2 is the maximum
For a working group.
for a working group of
But
this.
we have people who double committees, so we could still cover it with 2 people, I bet.
That's about, yeah, that's a thought. Yeah. Which we haven't figured that out yet, but yes, like,
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, that is an interesting thought.
I think that having done this before, when I first came on the board, or the committee, this is the first subcommittee I was actually on, we pushed out a lot of information back in the day, and it got really draining. And that's sort of why I think it fell off. I like the idea of sort of having this for, especially for sort of that emergent state, it is, God forbid something happened, but, excuse me, to sort of piggyback on what Krista was saying a little, I don't think it needs to come in and like hit the ground running. It's sort of be there and then sort of see where their need really is. I think it's obviously, great hearing, just trying to sort of reemphasize the transparency of the board and pushing that information outward. But that doesn't, just because somebody else on the table says it, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be heard by the people who are then going to say, I still didn't know about it.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't think this is going to be a be all end all type of situation, but I do think it is valuable, and it takes some pressure off of you personally, which I really like, because like pushing everything to you just isn't fair.
Well, thank you. And also, I mean, I will just say that much as people know, social media is not my forte. And so if any of this
I'm great on social media.
Anybody else?
Nothing happens. I am so clear,
Go
concise.
guide on social media, Dave. My God. But I don't think
My
we
point being
necessarily
that,
need
yes,
to.
it's
Well,
not
I
a-
think
it's
that
not
we're getting in the weeds here. So like,
Yeah,
I
no,
think
we're
the
getting in the
working
weeds.
group should create
Okay.
where we're saying things,
Yeah,
what
so,
we're
and
saying,
I actually
and
heard
how
from-
often we're
I
communicating.
heard a couple things, and so let's just see if, I heard, I'm sort of hearing people that interested in potentially the idea of a working group. I heard both Kristen and David expressing an interest in sort of maybe testing it out by maybe deciding who's actually going to do this, and maybe the first thing they do is kind of come back and say, this is what I'd like to do, right? Not necessarily today in this meeting, but like maybe the first thing they do is say, like, I've kind of looked around and this is what I'd like to do, or we'd like to do, if it's, so I guess I'm wondering that, I'm open to other people's ideas, but I would like to sort of think about, first off, do we want to create something, and if so, is it a working group, or do we think it's best to be a point person? I didn't hear a lot of interest in having it be a subcommittee. Was that accurate?
Yes.
Yes.
Subcommittee takes too long.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not-
right, and so.
And we have to post
I'm gonna just say,
things,
right,
and
the
it's all a thing.
difference between 2 and 3 is 3 people, you need to have a posted meeting 48 hours in advance, open to the public. So it makes it difficult to move swiftly.
Well, I'd be interested in working in a working group with another person where we can say, do some research, look around, talk to Eric, see what's needed, see where the gaps are, kind of do like an audit almost first, and then say, then come back to the full committee and say, these are the things that we think are needed.
That makes the most sense to start there, because there's a lot of vehicles that already exist.
Yes.
That we can piggyback onto, like Eric's
Exactly.
superintendent update. Every principal has a weekly. There's a lot we can just inject into quickly. And make this very, very simplified to get information out.
Am I allowed to say this is something I'm interested in doing also?
I think Julia just said it was something she was interested in doing
Yes.
too, so, interesting.
Interesting.
All right, so I guess the first thing, do we want to try to craft a motion there around creating a working group?
Put the new guy.
Do we,
All right, oh, yeah.
do we have to have a motion?
To create a working group.
To create a working group, yes. And then, I guess what I'm thinking is, if then the committee were to do that, then we're moving into the next section where we're going to fill all these buckets, so.
Same page.
All right, let's look at Tom. who's our new secretary.
That's right.
Oh, you should make the motion. I don't have to make the motions anymore.
Most difficult part of the job,
We
is
will-
making a motion on the fly.
So, go ahead.
So I make a motion to create a working group for information and communications out.
Second.
Sounds good.
All right, second by Amy Kunberger. Anybody have any further question, discussion?
No.
All right, looks like we're ready to vote. All those in favor? That is unanimous, and we have created the working group, communications working group. Okay. So, next up, we're going to look at all of our school committee subcommittees, and if you're okay with it, I'm going to throw the communications working group into there. I heard back from most of you, I'm looking at you, David Polito.
I'm sorry, I did not read, but I know exactly what I want to do. so.
Okay, so are you willing to just shout it out about what subcommittee you'd like to be on?
Let's have negotiations.
What a surprise, okay.
Because I
okay.
have to leave negotiations. 'cause I
Okay,
can't.
so I'm gonna just, so everyone,
was hoping
so
for that
I'm gonna
outcome.
just throw some things out there. So what I did was I took what people said they were interested in. Oh, well, I guess I should say, I don't want to put words in people's mouth, but I heard two people say they were potentially interested in the communication working group. I heard Julia and Amy, is that accurate?
It's accurate.
Is anybody else interested in that? Okay.
A hard no.
I am very much not. Okay, I'm gonna just read you what I have.
Critique our work.
Nope.
And
that either.
I'm gonna read you what I have, and I'm gonna just sort of let you know, people, not everybody, but some people let me know things they were really wanting, that was their top sort of choice. I'll let you know those. So I heard capital finance, people that said they were interested in being on capital finance was Jen, Tom, and Julia, and Jen expressed that that was her top choice. Is that accurate? I heard on negotiations, Dana, Kristen, Tom, and David, and I know, it sounds like that's David's top choice, and I know it's mine too. I don't know whether you expressed that was your top or not, but I think that was the only one, so yes. So yes. And I know Tom had expressed flexibility around different. Policy, I heard from interested Amy, Jen, Julia, and I also would be willing to serve on policy, and I think Amy had expressed that as a favorite. And then, again, communications, I've heard Julia and Amy. Does anyone want to?
Well, I would say my two top choices are capital finance, and the communications working group.
Okay,
And then if I need to be on another committee, I
right, I had you
happy to.
in policy without a star.
Right.
Like,
Right, like I'm interested in policy, but
Yep.
it's, if someone else is
Yep.
very, very interested in it.
Okay. I know that was a lot of kind of information. I will just say, like, I'm looking at it looks like it could just kind of fall into place if, my question, I guess, what I'm looking at, I have a question, which is, we usually have two people that serve on two, right?
Julia and me.
Right now, Julia's on, right, okay. So Jen,
You can pull me out of policy.
well, no, I'm not trying to get you out of policy, I'm just asking you, like, you've been on two for a long time.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going back to one.
Like, yeah, I mean, I know that's been a while, so, okay,
And she's the chair of
of
Finance.
capital finance. Okay, so let's start with capital finance, because that seems really easy. We have three people interested in that. So the three people that expressed interest in capital finance were Jen, Tom, and Julia.
So capital finance can get crazy around budget season, but other than that, it's pretty laid back. But around budget season, we're meeting quite frequently.
In the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part way in the spring too. Usually we meet Mondays during the day, but we could reevaluate that if it doesn't work for you, Tom.
And you all typically meet on Zoom?
No,
No,
we
you meet in
meet in
person?
we meet in person.
Okay,
Yeah, that works. I'm work from home, so it's very flexible. for the most part, yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I work from home too. So, but Jen teaches, so.
Okay.
It's kind of based around her
Yeah.
schedule.
I don't have classes on Monday, which is why we
Okay.
do it on Monday.
All right. Do we have a motion on the capital finance subcommittee?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the Capital Finance Subcommittee members of Jen, Julia, and Tom.
Second.
Okay, I heard a second by Jen. All right, all those in favor? That is unanimous and the motion passes.
Nice.
We don't have our next meeting set yet because we
No,
were
we need to
waiting for
sit
our
down.
third committee member.
Right.
Figure that out.
Jen, were you willing to continue to schedule that, and then
Yeah.
you all can regroup once you're there and figure that out?
Absolutely.
Vote for chair.
Huh?
And revote the chair.
The chair and all that, yes.
Chair, secretary.
Okay, so, negotiations, so we have Dana and Kristen, who are currently on the committee, Julia, who is on the subcommittee, Julia, who is departing the subcommittee, and David's interested, and I know, Tom, you had said you're open to that.
One's good for my first year. That's,
Since we just made you secretary.
Yeah.
It's a nice
exactly.
light lift. Yeah.
And, yeah, negotiations is a lot. It's going to be, yeah, upcoming will be. All right, do we have a motion?
yeah, put a motion for Dana, Kristen, and David to be on the negotiation subcommittee.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? That is unanimous, and the motion passes. All right, policy. So Amy has expressed interest, and it looks like Julia and I could fight about who wants to have the second spot, or no, Jen, if we don't have Jen, then Julia you'd be on 2.
To be on 3, 'cause she has
I'd be
No.
on 3 if I'm on
Oh,
the board
okay.
of communications.
All right, so that's too many.
Yes.
Okay, so,
Well, I'm only on, well, if I stay on policy, I'm on 2, but if somebody else really, I mean, I'm happy to do 2.
okay, well, so,
Have to? I really do.
all right, well, I'm just saying, so I just wanted to acknowledge that Jen has literally been years on 2 committees.
Yeah.
I have been only on negotiations for a long time. I haven't served on 2 in a long time.
And you're the chair,
I
though.
do some other things.
Yeah.
But Julia is looking, we haven't voted it yet, but you're looking to be on the communications, and Amy is looking to be on, you can't be on policy twice.
I'll try.
So, I mean, I'm willing to do it, but we do need another person, so,
I'll help.
okay, that'd put you on 2.
That's fine.
Policy is not,
That's kind of a heavy lift for Tom, like just being on policy.
Secretary?
And
His first year.
capital.
Yeah.
And trust me, it's not that you can't.
Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
looking out for you. Like I said, I could do it.
I can do it too.
You
I
know,
don't mind
no,
staying.
I'm not a, for whatever reason, I was just never a fan of the policy committee.
don't like
Been on
being on
and
policy.
off. I think it's like really valuable. I don't understand it just.
I mean, the good thing about policy is that it doesn't usually have something that's like, oh my gosh, we have to get this done.
Well, that's the
Yeah, it's just
problem. I was
kinda-
on policy when we were shifting
Right.
over.
I'm just saying,
Like
unlike,
reviewing
So I'm
things when
just-
they
I'm
come
sick of-
expire.
yes, unlike, right, yes, exactly, and, all right, so I appreciated Tom's willingness. I do think you have a lot on your plate.
Perfect.
I heard David, and so is anybody, nobody's fighting him for it?
I'm there.
All right, so it looks like I have Amy, Dana, and David. Is that what we think?
So I motion to put on the policy subcommittee Amy, Dana, and David.
Second.
Second by Jen Carr. All right, all those in favor? It's unanimous, and the motion passes.
Tom, that was honestly just to save you from.
No, I appreciate it.
Being
Yeah, well, I don't know what I don't know, so
Yep.
I appreciate it.
No,
Yeah, particularly during budget
Yeah, I was gonna say,
season,
because
you aren't going to
negotiations,
have a ton of extra bandwidth.
Perfect.
all right, and now that leaves us as the communications working group. which we discussed, and it looks like Julia and Amy, unless people are fighting them for it. Right.
I motion for the communications working group to be Julia and Amy.
Second.
Second by Jen Carr. All those in favor? And that is unanimous, and the motion passes. And I just make sure, I think we have somebody in each group that, so Jen will organize the first meeting of capital finance. With negotiations, we already have meetings on the schedule. We will update you, David, and the rest of the committee in executive session tonight. And then policy.
We don't have a meeting on the calendar, so.
So
I
are you
will-
willing to take that on? And, because you'll have to re-vote on
Yep.
who's the chair, but if you're willing to take that on.
Yes.
And then Julia and Amy, can the two of you just agree to have a conversation, and maybe we can talk at the next meeting about what direction you guys want to go?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm normally much better at notes. I don't know, I'm not taking good notes. Okay. Next up, we do have some liaisons
Oh, yeah.
to discuss. I don't want to take too much time. I know Vinnie's got some important, I want to hear Vinnie's presentation, but we have a couple of things that are vacant, and that we also might want to do a deeper rearrange. I don't know how the committee feels about maybe just doing the vacant right now and then
That's fine.
rearranging kind of later.
Might
Just
make sense in the fall.
As the, right,
you
as
know?
the school year is just sort of, so we really just have two vacancies, Cutler and the capital improvement plan.
I'll jump on the capital improvement plan.
Okay. Anybody else want that one? No? And Cutler, does anybody have any Cutler
It's a
connections? No? No.
I live right down the street.
My children went there 20 years ago.
Kids used to go
Maybe
there.
say what a liaison does.
I mean, it depends on what the particular group is that you're liaising to, but for the elementary schools, I mean,
Here's the friends.
mostly it's really just connecting with the Friends group. During budget season, we usually try to have at least one sort of opportunity to go into the school, but it's not a heavy lift. So, I mean, anyone?
I'll take it if nobody wants, it's fine. If it's not a heavy lift.
No, it's not.
No, it's more
and
just like
and-
connecting with
And
the
it's certainly
school
not
and
a
the
heavy
friends
lift
groups.
between now and the end of the year. We might regroup in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can fill you in.
Oh, I know,
It's
yeah,
pretty
now it's the end
straightforward.
of the year. I don't know if there's a friends group meeting.
There may be literally maybe nothing between
Okay.
now and the end of the year.
Oh, beautiful.
So,
I usually just sign up for like the Friends group email if it's a school that I'm not already having a relationship with. And
Okay.
then you kind of get the sense of what's going on.
What's going on? Okay.
Yeah, and then talking about the budget when it comes up.
right, which is
Which is
To them.
a long time from now, so.
Long time from now.
Okay, no problem then.
Okay, all right, so I heard Tom at the Cutler Liaison and David at the Capital Improvement Plan. If you want to make a motion, Tom.
Can I make a motion for both in the
You
same?
can try,
Beautiful.
absolutely.
So I make a motion for David to be the capital improvement plan liaison and Tom to be the Cutler liaison.
Second.
Second by Kristen. All those in favor? That is unanimous, and we got it done. All right.
Great job,
Thank you. All right.
First time in a while we've done it all in one night.
I know. It didn't seem so ambitious when it was, but now it does. All right, we're going to just quickly try to talk about retreat dates. If we can't do it tonight, one of the most important or things I bring up all the time is the one thing you can talk about as much as you want to outside of a meeting that doesn't violate open meeting law is scheduling. So we're going to try to talk about a retreat date, but if we can't figure it out right now quickly, we can do that over email, because that's something we can talk about. We can even argue about it. All right. So ideally, I would love to have a retreat day sometime between August 3rd and August 10th. In my dreams, someone would pick a day and all of us would say, that's perfect.
From when to when?
August 3rd to August 10th.
I'm in
Is this
Italy.
an evening event or an?
It would
Oh,
be
I'm
like-
away.
It doesn't matter, she's away. It's usually
I'm
during the
away August
day,
3rd to
and
August
It's a
10th.
pretty, like.
Like an all
Like
day.
an all day, like a
8 to 2.
I'm just an
9 to
upstate
3,
New York.
like
I'm
that
not-
kind of.
Done it on Saturdays in
I'm
the
going to
past.
Italy.
Right, we could do it on a Saturday, we could do it during the week, it's like, so. but
Sorry.
Jen just said no.
Wait,
Julia's
2,
gone.
it's strike 2
Leah
already.
said no also.
Okay, I will send you all an email. We will-
Okay, the next week could work, the week after.
The week
Okay.
of the 10th?
Yeah.
Well,
Survey it is.
but not the
But
10th.
not on the 10th.
You couldn't do the 10th.
Oh, maybe. Could you do the
I
10th?
could do the 10th.
Hold on,
I
let me
could
double
actually
check.
do the 6th or 7th, too.
Oh, well, why didn't you throw some of these days
No,
out?
I can't do that whole week. The whole
2
first
weeks?
week of August.
Well, the.
But I could do the 10th. I could do the
Okay.
10th.
I could do the 10th.
For sure, I can do the 10th.
I could do the 10th as well.
David?
Yeah.
I'm going to
Amy?
put a hold on my calendar right now. just in
Yay.
case. Okay.
This is
Looks
never.
open so far.
Something's wrong.
Oh my God. that's
Yeah.
not possible.
Something in the universe.
Oh, I'm busy that, no, I'm kidding.
I actually have my annual physical that day. I think I'll reschedule.
That's a
Um,
thing to
I don't know,
skip,
stop getting a doctor.
Got it in. All
Putting it in my
right,
calendar.
okay.
So silly.
Well, so we will, wow, that,
Yeah, I'm suspicious.
yeah. So please block it out. We typically have done, I can't remember, we've done 8 to 2 or 9 to 3,
8 to
but
2, 9 to 3, yeah.
yeah, like,
Okay.
6 hours usually.
block out.
Good lunch.
8 to 3. And, awesome. All right. That was amazing.
Weirded me out.
Now you.
Okay. To you, Vinnie.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Mics are rough tonight.
Staying. Thank you guys for joining us tonight and letting me present. I'm here to show you our FY26 year-end financial forecast as of quarter 3, ending March 31st, 2026. Before I get into the bulk of the presentation, like I normally do, I'd just like to take a second to go over the exhibits. Some of them are a little daunting. The first exhibit linked to the agenda is this PowerPoint presentation. It's the summary version of our year-end financial forecast. Exhibit number 2 is a detailed PowerPoint presentation. This presentation is broken down by school or district-wide department and is further broken down by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education's expense categories. This is the most detailed exhibit of the 4. This is really where we break down the complete year-end forecast and where all of those funds are coming from. Exhibit number 3 is the account detail behind exhibit number 2. It is the full detail of all of roughly 450 of our general ledger expense accounts. This is an Excel document. It lists out prior year budgets, how much we spent in these accounts last year. It also lists out the current budget for this year, any amendments or transfers the school committee has approved. It has all of our year-to-date expenditures. It also has a column for our encumbrances. Those are monies that department heads have put in, purchase orders that they've entered that we know we're going to expend at the end of the year. And then it has our current balance, which is where we stand today. And then the last column is our projection. That's where I work and try to figure out where we're going to end the year. So if you're reviewing that, really go to the column all the way to the right to see what we are projecting for our year-end balance. And then number 4 is kind of the summary of all of our major changes from budget to actual that are either bigger or less than $5,000. If I had to point out to you guys which one you should spend your time on, if your time is limited, I would really go to exhibit number 4. This is really where you're going to learn the most on what our actual variances are compared to our budget to actual. And then if you have more time or you want to get more in depth, I would definitely go to exhibit number 2. That really captures everything that we've done all year and what changes in the budget. And if you really want to geek it out, you can go to exhibit number 3 and start looking at all of the Excels and try to extrapolate some of the data. So to go over our agenda tonight, we're going to review our FY26 year-end forecast from 3 different perspectives. We're first going to do it from the school or department perspective, then we're going to move into the DESI categories, then I'm going to try to give you kind of my own perspective on where these funds come from. And then the last 2 items, we're going to take a vote on the prepayment of FY27 special education out-of-district tuitions, and then take a vote on budget transfers. So presented here is our financial forecast for year end. At this time, I'm predicting that we're going to end the year around $440,000. Just to give you perspective, this is about 1% of our budget. So we really are coming in just about 99% accurate. There are a lot of changes, but in terms of a whole dollar amount, I'm predicting we're going to have somewhere around 1% left over at the end of the year. Things could change from now till then, though. Just as an example, in our year-end forecast, we have encumbered funds to do a lot of window work around the district, mainly at Bucher and the central office. This was going to be done in June. However, some things have arose at Winthrop School that we might have to go and remediate. If that occurs and we can get that done this year, we would probably put the windows aside and move those funds over to the Winthrop School to solve the issue that arose over there, as long as we can do it by June. Another thing that could change my financial forecast, where we're estimating $400,000, is built in the fact that all of our department heads and all of our 5 schools are going to spend their supplies and materials and contracted services funds. These funds, although not as large as payroll, it is a good chunk of our budget, and it is where the principals and department heads have a little more discretion on what they can buy and what they can do with their contracted services funds before year end. I have incorporated that they spend all of those funds. Historically, they do not. There usually is a residual balance at the end of the year. If that happens again this year, that would increase my number you see here. There is a deadline for them to encumber these funds and enter purchase orders. It's the end of this month. As you can see, there's still 1 more month after that left in the year, the entire month of June. So when May 30th comes, I will run another analysis. If there are a large increase of unexpended funds that they turned over, we might look at doing both things, replace the windows and remediate at Winthrop. So it really depends on what happens over the next 3 weeks and how much money the schools and the departments have left over at the end of the year. The last thing that could change is our prepaid tuitions. So we are predicting that at the end of this year, we are going to prepay funds. Those could change depending on our enrollment, depending on where students are out of place and what those costs are. So those numbers could change. Right now, I do have an estimate in there. But right now, if you look at it, there really are 3 major categories that have large balances. There are benefits and fixed charges, our capital and fixed assets, and our special education district-wide department. I'm going to briefly talk about those 3 and what is causing those deficits or surpluses. not moving. So just to talk about the first one, benefits and fixed charges, what's included in that number? So it covers all of our payroll taxes, that's our Social Security and our Medicare. It also covers our property and casualty and liability insurance. It covers all of our unemployment benefits. It covers that $1 million payment we make to Essex County for our pension system for some of our employees. And it covers the health insurance for all of our active employees as well as all of our retirees, whether they're on basic plans, whether they're on Medicare. All these expenses fall into our benefits and fixed charges categories. So at year end, I am predicting that we're going to have $375,000 left over in this category. After all of our transfers that we've conducted through quarter one and quarter two, it's really broken down into 4 major areas. It's our health insurance, which is the biggest one. As a lot of you know, health insurance is our second biggest line item in our budget. And there's a lot of things that go into this number. We have to predict what the premium rate increase is going to be that Harvard Pilgrim applies to us. We have to predict what our change in enrollment or participation is going to be. And then we also include any vacant positions. We include full health insurance for the entire year when we go to set the budget. When we set the budget last year, we had 8 vacant positions. So we budgeted health insurance for all 8 vacant positions. That budget alone for those 8 people was $183,000. So depending on what they enrolled in is why you're seeing a bigger balance here, because a lot of them did not enroll in our health insurance. We also have roughly $50,000 left over in unemployment because the usage of unemployment is a little lower this year. Not as many people have been asked to leave or were let go. We also have $22,000 left for our sick day buyback. This balance is here because although we have 5 retirees this year, 2 of them have pushed their retirement dates off into September or October of next year. So we budgeted to pay out their sick day buyback, which happens after they retire, but because they're now not retiring until the beginning of FY27, we can't pay that with FY26 funds, so we have funds remaining for the sick day buyback payout. Last, we are seeing a balance for our crossing guards. We have about $12,000 left over, and this is mainly because of vacancies. And this seems to happen every year, and it's because crossing guards is a very unique position. It really takes a certain individual that has a certain lifestyle to do this. It's a 2-hour-a-day position, and it's not like it's 2 straight hours. It's 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour at the end of the day. So you pretty much can't go anywhere for 10 months of the year, and then you can't go anywhere too far during the day because you got to come back here by 2 o'clock to help kids cross the street. So we're going to try to figure something out over the summer. I did do a poll of surrounding towns. It looks like we do pay a little bit less than the surrounding areas for our crossing guards, so we might need a salary adjustment for next year. I'm not sure how much that's going to help with our vacancies, but hopefully there's a promising outcome for that next year. Moving on to our capital and fixed assets. Here is where you would find any of our capital stabilization fund transfers. This is also where we contributed about $1.6 million to the turf field project to help pay down that borrowing. You would also see funds to repair or replace any of our aging equipment. If we needed to replace any of our vehicles, this is where they would be purchased out of, and any major big bulk technology purchases are also budgeted under our capital and fixed assets category. So for this, I'm projecting that we are going to, at the moment, end the year in a deficit of about $300,000. And again, that's after all transfers. And this is because of the Cutler water main. So for those of you who have heard, or Tom, if you're not aware, this year was the second year in a row that the water main going into Cutler broke and started leaking. We had an emergency repair, and it's been decided, since it's the second time, that that really needs to be completely replaced. So right now, we're estimating about $300,000 to replace. For the whole project is $300,000. So after we replace the water main, we really are digging up majority of that parking lot, and that parking lot is already in pretty bad shape. So after we dig up the water main, we're going to lay down a new parking lot. It's estimated that the repaving of that parking lot and the replacement of the water main will cost roughly $300,000. This has not been put out to bid yet. It goes live next week, I believe on Monday or Wednesday. Bids are due back the first week in June, and the project will probably start the last week in June, so we'll have more accurate numbers in about 3 weeks from now, but working with our engineers and estimators, they predicted to at least set aside roughly $300,000. Next is our district-wide special education department. Within here, there are roughly 10 FTEs. It is 3.88 special education administrators and 6.0 FTEs of district-wide special education teaching staff. The special ed department in total accounts for about 92 FTEs, but the district-wide special education department only covers roughly 10 of those FTEs. So if an individual works at one school, we budget them under that one school. So if you go and look at Bucher, there's a section for special education. Every school has their own special education section. However, when a teacher, or any staff for that matter, starts working at more than 2 schools, so 3 or more, we place them in the district-wide department. So right now we have 6 instructional staff members who teach in more than 3 buildings, so they're at the district-wide special education DAC. So the other roughly 80 FTEs in special education staff are spread out amongst the 5 schools, 10 of them again in here, so it does not cover the entirety of the special education department. Again, it's only the district-wide ones. So at the end of this year, I'm predicting we're going to have roughly $352,000 remaining. The bulk of this comes from tuitions and transportation. So the net result of the out-of-district prepayments we made in FY25, we did that to help pay for the replacement of the high school boiler that broke over the winter. After we paid for that, and after we plan on prepaying again for next year, we're left with roughly $260,000 left over, which is adding to the bulk of that $350,000. In addition to that, though, we are at the moment projecting to end in a deficit for this year. If you look at our budget to actual expenditures for out of district of roughly $137,000. This does incorporate 3 new outplacements that we are currently under mediation with. They might not go out, but they also might before the end of the year, so we are reserving those funds just in case they go out by the end of the year. You've heard us speak about this before. The superintendents on the North Shore all came together to come up with a plan to help reduce our special education out-of-district transportation, and all the districts came together and decided to have the North Shore Education Consortium be the head of this regionalized transportation. That result of bringing all the communities together saved Hamilton Wenham roughly $132,000 in our out-of-district special education transportation for this year. In addition to that $132,000, we are also realizing that $90,000 credit that Doherty's Garage gave to us when we initiated their contract last summer, and we are realizing it through a reduction in our special education transportation that they provide to us. Moving on into the DESE category, it's that same number, so now we just break out that $441,000 to the way DESE wants us to report it. If you're looking at it again here, there are still 3 major categories that have larger balances than I would like. They are our pupil services, and again, our benefits and fixed charges, and our capital and fixed assets. So just briefly, our capital and fixed assets and our benefits and fixed charges, those are the only 2 DESE categories that are represented on the district-wide department. So when either way you look at our budget, whether you look at it by DAC or by school or location, or whether you look at it by DESE, these 2 categories are exactly identical. So we already went over those. I'm not going to bore you and go over it again. So if you just circle back and you look at the only other one, it's our pupil services, coming in at roughly $318,000 left over. And when you look at this, it's almost the same thing, because transportation falls under pupil services. So the first 2 items you see here are the same items we just went over, the NEC regionalization and Doherty's Garage credit. In addition to those 2 items, we are also realizing an additional $48,000 in athletic user fees. So this year, our participation rate increased with our athletes more than we had realized. If someone had to take a guess on why that happened, my guess would be because of our new facilities. So we're seeing an uptick in our athletes. We didn't anticipate that large of an increase. So we took in a lot more revenue than we had anticipated. That means the district's user fee match, or the reduction we set to user fees, is lower because that fund has taken in a lot more money than we anticipated, approximately $48,000. We also have some vacancies around our lunch and recess monitors, and this is really similar to our crossing guard situation. Again, it's only 2 hours a day. The difference here, at least that 2 hours, is together. It's not split 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour at the end of the day. It's 2 hours anywhere between 10 and 1 o'clock, depending on what building you're in and what time they serve lunch. But again, taking a poll of other districts, it seems like we are a little bit low on our lunch and recess monitors. We're paying them the same we pay our crossing guards, just like most districts do. So we'll probably look at that for FY27 to help the schools fill their vacancies here. We also have about $18,000 in unutilized stipends. These are stipends that we put into the budget that just ended up not being used. A great example is our new teacher mentors. In a historical year, we have anywhere between 15 and 25 in a very bad year of new teacher hires. We have to give them all a mentor, and then there's a mentor stipend associated with that. This year, we did not have that many new teachers, so those stipends went unfilled and unutilized and are there at the end of the year, approximately $18,000. Last, we have an increase this year on our additional late bus that services the middle school and high school that's costing roughly $30,000. Okay, so when I went over this, I said to myself, I really wouldn't know what anyone was really saying that to me if they told me, so I just tried to take a different direction, a different approach. And if someone just came up to me in town and said, "Why, I just saw your presentation yesterday, can you give me a kind of quicker example of, or a quicker explanation on why you have $400,000 left at the end of the year?" What I would explain to them, I wouldn't use the numbers you see here. I would really just tell them what happened. I included the numbers here for you guys so you guys can match those up as well. But to start, really what you have to do is rewind back to FY25. At the end of FY25, we prepaid $1.4 million in out-of-district tuitions for FY26. If you just look at that alone, that means in FY26, we freed up $1.4 million. So if everything else happened as it should have, we would have ended this year with the $1.4 million because we prepaid. However, a lot of things happened, and good thing we did prepay because we had 2 major emergencies this year that those funds were used for. So when I look at out-of-district tuitions and prepayments, to be honest, I hate prepaying out-of-district tuitions. It causes a lot of accounting headaches and a lot of explanation to the auditors and on our end-of-year report, and I really don't like to do it. But to me, there's 2 reasons you do it. The first thing is to cover a future deficit that has occurred. So if for whatever reason you passed, in our instance, we passed our 26 budget for out-of-district tuitions. After the budget was passed, we found out there might be 3 additional out-of-district students. That means that there's going to be a budget deficit the following year because we didn't budget for those out-of-district students. So if a good thing to do at that point, if you can, would be to prepay those out-of-district tuitions so the following year you don't have to make budget reductions based on that increase in out-of-district tuitions. So to me, the very first thing you would use your prepayments for is to cover your future deficit. The second thing is any major emergency, whether capital related, that might have happened. Well, we had a $1 million boiler failure. It was actually 3 boilers failed at the exact same time. We lost the complete heat up at the high school. We had to come in and bring in emergency heating system to keep the building heated. To replace that system, it cost just over $1 million. So from those 2 items alone, we almost used our entirety of that prepayment. But then we had another emergency, as I just stated, the Cutler water main broke. So of that $1.4 million, we used roughly $270,000 to fund the Cutler water main. It cost roughly $300,000. So again, right there, we would have ended the year in a deficit of roughly $61,000. However, everything else that happened this year obviously happened. We have our health insurance. This changes in health insurance all the time, just like we realized we had lower participation rate than we did. The district tries to be conservative when it sets its budget and tries to have a little bit of reserve funds on hand in case anything happens. Well, with everything that else happened this year, we didn't need those reserve funds. So those are still there to access at the end of the year. This year, we had a little bit larger than normal staff turnover, so we're realizing almost $260,000 in savings just from staff turnover. That's us hiring younger or less educated staff members and more seasoned, higher educated staff members either leaving, retiring, or exiting for whatever reason. We also have a lot of vacancies this year. Now, dollar-wise, it's comparative to last year. However, position-wise, it's not. This is only 3 positions. One of them makes up nearly half of this entire balance alone. So when we don't have a vacant position, it causes a lot more headaches for everyone else. Somebody has to make up the work, but the district is saving money because we're not paying out that salary. So we realized a lot of savings from those vacant positions. And then we had a lot of change in our transportation this year that gave us almost another $200,000. So these are all surpluses and balances that we had left over at the end of the year. However, we do have some additional expenses this year. If you look at our operations and maintenance budget alone and you compare the original budget to where I'm estimating they're gonna end the year, we are already $280,000 over budget, and we still have 3 months left of the year after this forecast was made. We also had some things occur with our 27 budget and had to make up some of those things this year related to technology and some other, the broken curtain at the high school, middle school. Some other major things this year, the federal government and the state government lowered the grants that they give to us. They dropped it about $43,000. We pay for salaries out of all of our grants. That means the district had to come up with $43,000 to cover that reduction in the grants that was passed on to us. We also had the additional late bus because of greater participation up at the high school. And then we do have 6 more school choice kids that are deciding to go to a different public school system that do live in Hamilton Wenham. And then lastly, we have the prepayment that we're going to apply to FY27. Even after I wrote all this, I still said to myself, it's still probably too long. I should still probably summarize it for somebody. But I thought at least showing it maybe this way might help instead of doing it by the DESI category and by the DAC form. So I do have a request to transfer funds to cover those deficit DESI categories and then the prepaid motion, but I will stop and take any questions.
Thank you.
Why is the school choice out 29 and not 30?
There is a special education increment in there, so it's not exactly $5,000 per person, per student. It's could be anything greater than that depending on the services they receive. Also, if a student goes to the TECA, it is not $5,000. I believe that's like $7,650. So it's not $5,000 even for everyone.
Yeah, but that's a choice out?
That's a choice out. So it's a Hamilton Wenham resident who's deciding to go to another public school or the virtual school. Yep. That's not kids coming in, it's
Yeah.
our kids going out. Yep.
Oh, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. No, it's okay.
I just had the 3 new out of district. What level are they at?
Grade level?
Yeah.
Elementary.
Elementary?
Yep.
Where,
Say that again?
never mind. I
Yep.
don't want to
Yep.
dig too deep. So, thank you.
Yeah.
My question just, and I know you've reviewed it before, but if you could remind me how we were able to prepay 1.4 million in out-of-district placements, like where that 1.4 million effectively
Oh boy,
came
you're gonna have to rewind like 5 years
from.
ago
Is this
to
an
COVID.
E&D situation? Okay.
No, it's COVID.
COVID, okay, all right.
I mean, I'll try to make it as short as I can. When COVID hit, the buildings closed and we stopped spending money. At the end of that year, we had a large balance left over and we decided to prepay then because we thought the next year when everyone came back, we were gonna have a large uptick in services that we were gonna have to provide. But the year they came back, they were half remote and half in person. We had even less expenses than we originally anticipated. So it's kind of been a
rolling
rolling
it.
thing that we
Okay.
keep kind of prepaying that money. That's part of the reason I don't like doing it, because as soon as you stop doing it, all that money is going to fall to,
Into the budget.
fall to E&D and make it three
have to
times as
return it to
large
the
as it is
town.
right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep,
okay.
yep.
Got it.
So if
Thank
you got to kind of keep going with that cycle until something large happens, usually either out-of-district placements or some sort of capital item.
Yep. Okay.
But wasn't 1.04 million of that previous paid tuition, we paid it because we wanted to free up money for the boiler, which didn't come in last fiscal year, it came in this fiscal year?
Correct, yes. Yep, yep.
Anybody have anything else? Okay. So you're looking for
A motion.
two separate motions, though, because I think.
Correct. This
I think
first-
I actually do have a question on the next one, but not
Sure,
on this,
yep.
yeah.
Yep. This first one would transfer the funds to bail out the deficits that I am projecting at year end.
Okay. Right. Do we want to torture Tom and make him try to do this as a motion?
This one isn't too bad.
Yeah, so you just want to start with I move that we, and then read all of that.
I move that we transfer $14,000 from other teaching services to guidance, counseling, testing, transfer $300,000 from benefits and fixed charges to capital and fixed asset improvement, transfer $35,000 from benefits and fixed charges to installation materials, equipment, and technology, transfer $145,000 from pupil services to operations and maintenance.
Second.
Second, I, Dave Polito. Are there any further questions?
No.
Is there discussion? Okay, all those in favor? That is unanimous of the 6 members present, and the motion passes.
And next time you should bring a latte if you're going to call it a coffee house.
Bring a latte.
That's a good point for everyone. Mine will need to be decaf.
So this next one is seeking approval to use current year funds to prepay some of our FY '27 out-of-district tuitions.
So I have a question, I don't know.
Of course.
So I don't know, I did ask Eric this. I feel like in the past, when we have done this, that there's been a specific amount here.
There has not. This is the exact
Okay.
language we've used before.
So I'm wrong.
Yep. And the reason, I can explain why.
Well, I
but-
think I understand why, which is just that because we don't actually know how much money is actually going, I mean, this is a forecast, it's not
Correct.
the final.
Yep.
Right, so I assume it's because the amount could actually be more or less depending on,
Correct. I literally will not know the exact number until the last Friday in June, after the last payroll warrant is posted.
so I guess my,
59.
Yeah.
so, but my question is,
There is a legal limit, though, and that's
yeah,
what you're
so,
saying, I cannot exceed the legal limit.
right, you're not as, so tell me more about the legal limit, I guess.
So you're allowed to prepay the first 3 months of a student's tuition. So, making it up, even if a student starts in August and it's only the last week, I count that month. You technically could go further, but I don't.
And I actually think I knew, like that, I think you've explained to us. What I really am not quite, in other words, it's not is it the entirety of?
The entirety of their tuition, the first 3 months.
Is it the entirety of the, like, balance? In other words, if we ended at 441, would you be paying 441? If that were allowed, as long as that were,
No, I would still aim to end at roughly 1%. So that the 441 already takes out the prepayment. So I would still aim to end in that general area.
okay, regardless of.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Other people have questions? All right, We need a motion?
I motion the Hamilton Wenham Regional School Committee authorizes the Assistant Superintendent of Finance and Administration to prepay fiscal year 27 out-of-district tuitions with fiscal year 26 funds not to exceed the amounts established by the Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40, 4E, Chapter 71, 71D.
Second.
Second by Julia Campbell.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. All right, anybody have anything else? All those in favor? That is unanimous of the 7 members present, and the motion passes.
So one thing I just wanted to clarify as you read that, you're allowed to pay the first 3 months of a student's tuition that goes to a private school. If they go to a collaborative, you are allowed to prepay the entire year. But either way, it will still be the dollar amount, but just to clarify. I think that's
Right,
everything.
and the amount, and obviously the amount will get reported to us when you.
At the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yep,
All right, thank you.
yep. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Vinny.
I think I still got one more, right?
Go one more, yeah.
Yeah.
So much work.
Then I definitely
Of
want to
the prior year invoices.
Oh, prior year, yeah.
Yeah, so it does not bring me joy to ever bring these in front of you guys. It usually means we missed payment on something. Someone ordered something without a purchase order. We do have specific policies that says you're not really supposed to order anything until you have an approved purchase order. But some of these items were still on a purchase order. The problem is the state has specific rules that you cannot roll over a purchase order farther than December 31st. So if December 31st comes and you still haven't paid it, you have to close the purchase order and then go through this process of bringing it forward. 2 of these invoices did happen at the end of FY25, the last week or 2. It was obviously a chaotic time at the end of June. I think these were just small items that were overlooked. The elevator inspections, again, they happened at the end of the year, and I think they were just overlooked. The other 2 items, however, they were put in, they were recorded, but the services we received, the budget holder was not satisfied, and they would not release payment until the company remedied the situation. A few months went by, back and forth. They eventually agreed that they could not fix what happened, and we requested a new invoice, reducing it to exclude those services. The company took a little longer than we wanted. That's why they weren't on the prior request that I brought to you guys, I think, in December. So these were kind of left over from December. But we're seeking your permission tonight to use our 26 funds to cover these 4 invoices totaling $2,473.64. Oh, it's not up, sorry.
Oh, do you have a?
It's 2 screens, so I gotta.
All right, Tom, do you want to give it a shot? We can help.
I motion to pay from our fiscal year 26 budget, elevator engineering, $150, elevator engineering, $260, RB Allen & Co., $1,465, Power Products, $598.64, for a total of $2,473.64.
Second.
Second by Kristen. Anybody have anything else? All right, all those in favor? That is unanimous, and the motion passes.
You guys appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vinny.
Okay. I'm going to run through the committee reports, but I don't anticipate that we have a ton at this moment. Capital Finance?
We met on Monday and we went through what Vinny just went through.
Great.
With you guys.
Awesome.
More in depth.
Policy?
I need to schedule our next meeting. There's a bunch of policy updates that came through from MASC that we probably need to talk about.
Great. Negotiations, we are continuing to negotiate with the ESP union, and we will update the committee in executive session. And we do have a scheduled meeting, and I don't have my calendar up. It's
Thursday, I
the
think.
3rd, what'd you say? 14th, yes, on the 14th. The secretary report, just not to terrify you Tom, you're, first of all, not in charge of taking any notes. We have a recording secretary who's doing that. And typically, the secretary report would just let us know which subcommittees have outstanding minutes.
Okay.
Do you know whether we have any information on outstanding
No,
minutes?
I don't think we do, but I'll let you know.
Excellent.
And then also, just to take notes at the executive session.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And submit those to Janelle.
Yes, but this
talk about that
meeting,
later.
we have a recording secretary who is watching this,
Yep.
and she does an excellent job. In our inboxes, do you have anything, Amy?
I don't have anything for that.
Okay. All right, I just have a couple reminders for people. So superintendent evaluations, the due date is May 17th. Those need to be delivered to Julia. That is for the 5 of us who are here for that. If you have any process questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or any other member. Happy to talk about that. I did speak to Kristen because she's really the only new member that's trying to write a evaluation. She and I set up a time to do a little bit of training on just the process. But if anybody else wants to chat about that, we can have you join if that's something you want to do.
We'll just review the schedule again. So they're delivered to me by May 17th, and
we're
when
gonna
am I getting
discuss it.
them?
It's on the June 4th meeting.
Okay, so when should I have it as an
it
exhibit?
by the Friday before. Ideally, you would deliver it to get it on the agenda by May 29th. Legally required to be on there by June 2nd.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
yes.
We had discussed that at that meeting, we would discuss and provide feedback with an anticipated vote on the 18th. But that is, of course, at the will of the committee. I already alerted Janelle. I don't know if anybody else has started to do it. I did find something a little wonky in the form. It was much better than in the past, but I did send it to Janelle because I don't know if it's just me. So I'll let you know if she figures it out.
Form is awful.
Yes, it's much better, but I did find one thing that I was wrestling with. I did just want to let you know, we all got invited to the senior symposium at the high school on May 13th, from 9:16 to 10:16 a.m. I just wanted to, I am not able to attend at that time, and I know that's a challenging time. But I will just put a plug in if any school committee members can go. It's a great, it's really cool to meet and see what our students are achieving. It's a combination of, some students do detailed research projects and they present them, and some students do internships and they present them, and you get to just walk around and talk to individual students about their work. And I'm sure, anyway, I'm just putting in a plug. If you're able to go, I would highly recommend. And I'm sad that I'm not able to go this year. And I think that's all I have, unless anyone has some questions for me.
I just had one.
Yeah, of course.
Just going back to my evaluation, I have one document coming out to the 5 people to give you a better outline of the strategic planning, because that's, when the evidence was due, there was not a lot of information in there at the time, so now we've got meeting number 7 coming up, so I'll give you a breakdown of what's happened over those 7 meetings.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have a topic for a future meeting?
Communications.
Oh, yes.
Yes, oh, yes, thank
We'll
you.
have some sort of.
Does it
Proposal.
feel like that you want that on the next meeting? Do you want to let me know? Do you want to?
You want to talk about it and then let Dana know?
When is the next meeting again?
Our next meeting.
The 21st, 2 weeks.
Okay,
You want to do
2 weeks. I think 2
two
meetings.
meetings, yeah. We do 2 meetings from
All
now.
right, so we'll look at
Cool.
the 4th.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have a topic for a future meeting?
Strategic plan draft will probably be in front of the committee June 4th as well.
Okay, it's
Our
going to be a busy
target-
meeting.
That's our target date.
Okay. All right. Anybody have anything else?
Do we know next steps on changing school start times?
That is also coming, but probably not till the last meeting in June.
Okay.
Got to do a survey with the kids before I bring it forward, so.
Right.
And MCAS time is the worst time to do a survey with the kids.
All right, are we all ready? Because I'm going to, okay. I move to adjourn into executive session under General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, Number 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation with the ESP union if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigation position of the public body and the chair so declares, and not to return to open session.
Second.
Second by Amy. So this is a roll call vote. David?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Julia?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Kristen?
Yes.
Dana's a yes, and we are adjourned.